Howdy folks, I'm Southern Wolf of Southern Wolf Studios. Welcome back to Samurai of Hyuga. Let's check out our stats. Calculative is at 64%, Perverted is at 64%, Charming and Stoic are at 50%, Protective is at 64%, Finesse is at 63%, and our attunement is at 56%. Chapter 10, Death Note. I sat down at the low wooden table and watched Hachi engulf bowl after bowl of rice porridge. It turned out nearly dying of poison worked up quite the appetite. Aside from a lingering bruise on his right hand, it was amazing how fast he recovered. Toshi smiled while pouring out the miso soup. The spirits must favor you, Hachirobi-san, to grant you such a swift recovery. Maybe, but I'm really in debt to Momoko-chan, best doctor in the city. She was only around when Tonkan... The Street Fighter's voice trailed off, and his appetite dried up like a raisin in the summer sun. If only she was around to save Tonkan. I didn't have the heart to tell him of the truth of the matter. I could still picture the good doctor pouring those bitter tears down Hachi's throat. Where was she anyway? The kid spoke up after a long gulp of miso soup. She said she would be delayed, that she was changing into a clean kimono. Calculative. I was about to shrug it off and down another bowl before my mind got the better of me. A clean kimono. When Hachi and I rescued her from those Yakuza, she was hardly wearing one, let alone carrying a spare. Toshi's eyes met mine. Something wasn't right here. I approached her room with my katana by my side and the rest of my entourage in tow. Her screen door was closed. Open it up. I motioned to slide the shoji screen door open, but Hachi held it shut. I couldn't help but notice that he had a nosebleed. Hold on a second. She might be changing. There was no force behind his grip, which really shouldn't surprise me. I shook my head and shut the door aside. The room was empty, much to Hachi's dismay. Perverted, and to mine as well, to be honest. What was there laid on the table in freshly written ink? It was a note written in flowery script. The Street Fighter and I nearly broke the thing in two trying to get a hold of it. Thinking back, I'm not sure why I tried so hard. It says, It then occurred to me that neither myself nor Hachi had the ability to read. Natsumi's face grew red, and I could have sworn there was steam coming out of the top of her head. We were about to get yelled at. Imbeciles! Hand it over to me! Like two scolded dogs, we sheepishly gave over the parchment. I managed to get wet ink on my fingers. This couldn't have been written more than a minute ago. Although I couldn't read words, I could read faces, and the kid's frowning eyebrows and scrunched up lip told me everything I needed to know. Momoko had fled the coop. She lists further instructions for the care of Hachirobi-san and asks for forgiveness? The last line reads thus: I'm going to put an end to the wrong I have brought into this world. 3 pairs of eyes looked at me in vastly different ways. Toshi was trying to solve a puzzle and failing, while Natsumi's cheeks were puffed out ready to unleash a series of accusations upon me. As for Hachi, he was earnestly worried. Why'd she leave, Okami? I thought back to last night. I thought back to those tears, not the bitter ones, that Momoko cried out when she embraced me. I was surprised too uncertain to find the right words back then, and even now I struggled to come up with what I wanted to say. But now, she was going to end the wrong that she brought into this world? She was talking about making opium in Jinjinto, and there was only one possible explanation to her words. She's going to take her own life. Attunement has increased. She's going to take her own life. A reason for guilt, prone to emotions, leaving a note. I've seen these sort of signs before. And worst of all, I hadn't done anything to stop it when I could have. That delicate chin and those large black eyes. That serene sort of seriousness. Would she just become another face to haunt my nights? That was Hachi's fist slamming against the wall behind me. How could she even think of doing something like this? She came to us for help against Shiroyama. Yeah, those bastards probably tailed us. Forced her to write this. His voice shook and vibrated across the silent dojo. It was an idea, just not a very plausible one. I felt the morning sun rise up outside along with a breeze that brought in some much-needed air. But that wasn't the only thing I felt. Toshi's stare was the only thing that persisted throughout all of this, as if she knew there was something I was holding back. I hoped she wouldn't ask what. Thank the spirit she didn't. Hachirobi-san, on the chance that she may intend the worst, where would Momoko-chan go? She paused reluctantly to clarify. What I mean to say is, where does one go to kill oneself in Jinjinto? breeze had suddenly picked up, harrowing through the rafters in a ghostly sort of sound. The atmosphere had grown morbid, quick. With the note's ink still drying, the beloved doctor couldn't have gotten very far. There was still time. But I knew how easy it was to get lost in this place. Hachi began to speak. It was up to the Jinjinto native to make the call on this one. There's the Tetsuzan Bridge, leading into the East Ward, where the rich folk and their mansions live. Anyway, the water is shallow this time of year, and from a drop like that into those rocks... Shit! We were about to leave right then and there when Mitsumi told me that she needed to retrieve something from her room. A woman's life was on the line. We didn't have time for her to brush her hair and clean her teeth. Hachi continued, Okami, to think of such a pure-hearted woman like Momoko would be targeted by those Yakuza bastards. What kind of city do we live in? This isn't the Jinjinto Tonkan and I grew up in. He struck the air with a punch, trying to vent the rage that had been boiling up inside of him. It had the opposite effect. She deserves a better life than this. Maybe I can take her out of this place, you know? Somewhere safe. Somewhere... Hachi trailed off. I realized that if I wanted to tell him the truth, it would be now or never. Hachi, she's making opium. Hachi, she's making opium. He needed to know the truth. Before he started dreaming up ideas of sweeping her off her feet and marrying her, he needed to know what was really going on. Shiroyama wanted Momoko not because of her looks, but because of her drugs. She created an addictive poison that has Jinjinto rotting, and what has Tonkan in his grave. That's bullshit! I can't believe you, Okami, saying such terrible lies. She saved my life last night. Does that mean anything to you? Hachi yelled out, unable to believe my claim. He ran off in frustration, chasing after the woman he had fallen for, and there wasn't anything I could say to change his mind.